So just by using Facebook ads, we've achieved over $10 million in sales, and Facebook ads is by far still the best platform to promote your e-commerce brand. Now, I can totally understand as a beginner how Facebook ads can be overwhelming, hard to understand, or you don't know what to do to find success. And that's why in this video, I'm going to be doing an in-depth video, and hear that again, in-depth video on how to do Facebook ads in 2024. Now, I've even created a free cheat sheet that's going to contain all the information that I'm about to tell you. So you actually need that cheat sheet. It's super crucial for your learning. So make sure we hit 2,000 likes on this video, and it'll be in the pinned comment and in the description below. Now, with that being said, guys, let's get straight into this new Facebook ads tutorial for 2024 for e-com, dropshipping, and even social media marketing. Now, you should already have a product in mind that you want to use for your Facebook ads. So this is my product. It's a set of earrings. It's a teardrop earring. So this is the product that I'm going to be using throughout the whole video, so everything makes sense. So before we can actually create our first Facebook campaign, we need to make sure that we have everything ready before, like the offers and like the creatives, because those are the two most important parts of the strategy. Facebook ads themselves isn't the important part. Your creatives and your offer will determine if you're successful or not. So the first offer could be buy one, get one free. Now, if I go back to my hypothetical product, this is going to be the main product, the earrings, but then I'm going to give them for free the necklace to go with it. So the matching necklace is cheaper. So I'm going to say the main product is this product here, which is the earrings. So if they buy this from me, they get the matching necklace for, guess what, for free. Now you can see on my dropshipping website how this looks. So this is the main product itself, the earrings, and you can see here it says free gift, the bracelet worth $29.99. So this is how it should look on your website. It should show it exactly here, so that when people come here, they're going to know straight away that the offer does exist. Now don't worry, I made a whole video talking about how to set offers up on your website, so I'll leave that link in the cheat sheet and in the description so you can watch it at the end of this video if you don't have an offer already on your Shopify store or your e-commerce brand. Now the second offer is something called an aggressive offer, and that could be buy one, get two gifts free. Now the gift could be the free product, for example the necklace, could be an ebook about how to wear fashionable products. I can go to a website called PLR and I can download a white labeled ebook for like $2 and have it on my store and commercially use it. Now the final offer that we have, they buy one and they get entered into a $500 giveaway. Now what this $500 giveaway is it's $500 worth of products. So obviously they have to buy the main product for $29.99, but by doing that they get entered into a $500 fashion giveaway. So I want to quickly show you guys a few examples of other brands doing this on their ads. So you can see I'm on the ad library and you can see these guys are selling a pair of sunglasses. You can see this ad here says buy one and get a free on or prescription frame. So basically a free set. So that's their offer right there. Now their other ad says don't miss out on our latest style with buy one, get one free. So they've basically reworded it in a different way. Now we can see another brand here doing it and they're selling jewelry, and it says here 3rd year anniversary, buy one, get two free. You can see this ad here says have you ready for the gift season, buy one, get any other free with a code free. So they're asking you to add it as a code at the checkout and you get any other product on their website for completely free. Now this is a famous dropshipping store. It's the Cloud Shark Slides, and they've done a really good job of this because they've actually used an image creative to show what they're trying to give as an offer. So you can see here it says buy two, get one free, and they're using an image instead of the text to illustrate that. And they're also including the offer in the ad copy saying cozy fur, buy two, get one free, 60% off all collection. So they're being very aggressive by putting it in the image and putting it in the ad copy. So that's the first critical step that you must ensure you've done before you run any Facebook ads, because you've got to understand that Facebook ads is a bidding platform. You're bidding against other advertisers for people's attention and people's sales. Now you're only going to get that if you come across the most attractive, and that is the best way of doing it. So let's go over how many creatives you need and the styles that you need. So you're going to need 3 styles of creatives. You're going to need 3 videos. You will only use one to start with, and the format that you should go for is 4x5 or 1x1. In my opinion, 4x5 is better than 1x1, so you should aim for this formation. Now you want to try 3 different styles of video. So for example, one could be UGC, one could be POV, one could be a little bit more laid back. So you want to have 3 very different styles of videos that you're going to be using. Now the next thing that you're going to need is 3 images. You will only use one to start with, and again the format is the same as the video. You might want to try a model shot, you might want to try a mock-up shot, and then you might want to try an aesthetically pleasing shot like it being on the floor or the item being on a nice background. Now, before we move on with actually setting up our first campaign, let's talk about where you can get creatives made. I've made a whole video talking about how to shoot content and how to turn it into an ad. So I'll also leave the link to that video in the description and in the cheat sheet. Now, if you want to go to a professional site to get these creatives made, then I only recommend Billo or Biaheza. I'm not quite sure how I'm pronouncing it, but I've been using these guys for the last 4.5 years. You can check on my channel, and if you go to their service section, you can filter it by Facebook, and you can see here you can order professional UGC and high quality videos for your Facebook ads. Now, these guys literally understand the algorithm like a T when it comes to creating content that converts well for the advertisement platform. Now, if you're wondering about the pricing, you just click pricing and it will literally give you a budget that you want to work on. So if you're an SMMA client, then you can give this to your client to work on, or if you're a drop shipper, you can figure out what is affordable for you. Now, Biaheza is a little bit expensive, but you definitely get what you pay for when you use the service. Now, of course, you could use a cheaper platform like Fiverr, but the quality insurance is not the same as Biaheza, and all the creators are done through Biaheza, and they're not just random people. So if you want to check Biaheza out, you can use my link in the description for a nice coupon code, and you get some nice deals. So now that brings us to the best part of the video, which is creating our Facebook ads. Now, before we can create an ad, we need to know what numbers we're working on, because remember, numbers are the key to success here. So we're going to bring you to a ROAS calculator. So this will be linked in the cheat sheet and in the description. This is a ROAS calculator. So ROAS stands for return on ad spend. This is the most important metric when you go into advertising. Now, ROAS works on any advertisement platform because it's the key metric for profitability. Now, this calculator makes your life very easy because all you've got to do is put your cost of goods here. So my cost of goods, including shipping and the product cost, is $4. Then I'm selling it on my website for $29.99. Now, if you come here, it'll tell you what your break-even ROAS is. So it's saying that my break-even ROAS is 1.2. So what does that mean? That when I go on Facebook later and I show you this in the column section, if my ROAS is above 1.2, that means I'm making money. If it's below, it means I'm losing money. So that number is so important for me. So I've got to aim for when I launch ads, and I'll talk about this later on, because there's a time and a place to use this number, then it means that I'm profitable. Or if I'm at that number, it means that I'm breaking even. Now, you should never launch a Facebook ad or any ad if you do not know what your ROAS is, because you're going to be shooting in a dark room. So as you guys can see on my computer screen, I'm inside of the Facebook Ads Manager, and you can see 6 campaigns. Now, don't worry about these 6 campaigns. I've just made them pre-video to make my life a little bit easier when I record this. I'm going to be showing you exactly how to set up each one of these campaigns and when you should be setting them up and what is the purpose of them and what you can expect from them. Now, if you're watching this and your ads manager is ready to go, you've got everything connected, the first thing that you want to do is create a campaign by hitting this green button in the top left. Then once you've done that, it's going to say buying type, make sure it's auction. Again, Facebook ads is an auction platform. Then where it says choose campaign objective, you're going to do sales. Then once you've selected those, you want to hit continue. Now, it's going to bring you to a page like this where it says advantage shopping campaign or manual sales campaign. You're always going to want to go with manual setup, so select it and click continue. Then it's going to say campaign name. Now, the campaign name should be called testing campaign, and then the product name, and then broad. So you can see here it says testing campaign, and then whatever your product name is, and then broad top 6. So we're going to be doing top 6 in this campaign, and I'll explain what that is later on. Now, when you're in the testing phase, I always recommend that you give yourself a budget that you're willing to give a product before you kill it. Now, for me personally, when I drop ship, I always give my product around about $300 to $500, and that's the amount spent on ads. It has nothing to do with anything else. So that means that I'm willing to throw $500 at my Facebook ads, and if my product within those $500 doesn't show me any promising signs that I'll get onto later, then I will kill it. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this now is because you have to mentally digest this before you even create a campaign for this to work. Now, once we've got that under the belt, guys, we don't need to mess with anything else, so we're going to hit next. Now, where it says ad set name, we're going to come back to this later. Now, you're going to want to make sure that conversion location is website. You're going to want to make sure that you're going for maximized number of conversion. The pixel is the pixel installed on your Shopify, so make sure you choose it. Then you're going to want to keep scrolling down to where it says budget. Now, the budget is important because if your product is priced over $50, you're going to want to go for $20. If your product's priced under $50, you're going to want to go for $10. If your product's priced over $100, then you're going to want to go for $25. And if your product's priced over $150, you're going to want to go for $30. So make sure you listen to that, and all that info is in the cheat sheet. So as soon as you figured out what your product is selling for, mine is $20. $29.99. So that means I'm under $50 and my ad set should be $10. Now, where it says start date, you should always go for the next day midnight, and you should do that for all ad sets that we get onto later, so that way they spend at the same time. So the next day is going to be Friday, and then we're going to set this on 00. Now, the next thing that we need to do is scroll down to where it says audience locations, and you want to click edit. Now, the locations that we want to do to start with is the UK, the US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and Ireland. So they're the top 6 countries that I always start with. Now, I'm not going to add them here now because I want to save a little bit of time. So make sure you add the ones I just mentioned. Then you're going to see here where it says Advantage Audience. This is a new feature that Facebook's created where they do the targeting for you. So back in the day, you used to have to target interest for Facebook to look for. Now, Facebook's algorithms got so smart, they can figure it out for you. This is what I was trying to say to you guys at the intro. The offer and the creative is more important than anything else. So for this ad set, we're going to leave it as it is. And then where it says placements again, we're going to let Facebook determine that through their smart engine. So you want to go back up to your ad set name. So you can see I've named my ad set Broad Advantage Plus Audience 10. So I've basically put the name of whatever I've done in the ad set. That way I know which one's which. So if I come down later on, look at my campaign structure, my ad set levels, and I want to kill or scale, I know which is which so I don't get confused. Then what you want to do is click next in the top right. Now, for those that don't know, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. If you come to the top left, you're going to see a folder, 4 boxes, and a little image of 1 square. Now, the folder is the campaign, the 4 boxes is the ad set, and the ad set is all the targeting, and the 1 little box is the ad. The ad is what they're visually going to see. Now, the first ad name is going to be called Video Offer 1. Now, why are we calling it Video Offer 1? Because it's going to be the first video that we have out of the 3, and it's going to be the offer, which is the non-aggressive offer, as the one in the ad copy and in the creative. Now, obviously, you want to select your Facebook page, then you want to scroll down to where it says manual upload, single image or video, multi-advertiser you can put on as it's recommended. Then where it says media, you want to click add media, add video, and this is where you're going to want to upload your video. So in this instance, I've already uploaded mine, so I'm going to click it and click next. Then once you've done that, you want to scroll down to where it says primary text. I've put mine as embrace the limit glow, exquisite earrings for every occasion, find yours with a free gift. So in the primary text, this is what they're going to see here. You can see here the preview. I'll show you this later. Now, I've mentioned the offer being a free gift. Now, if we scroll down, the headline is the big thick text that you're going to see here, and I put buy one, get free bracelet. Now, in the description, I put free track shipping, and then as the call to action, I obviously put shop now. The website URL should be the product page that you're trying to sell. Now, you should always preview the URL to make sure that it's working before you even launch your ads. And if we scroll down, you've got something called website tracking, and you have something called UTM parameters. Now, this is so important. Facebook tracking, because of the iOS updates and all these other things coming out, has tarnished the tracking of Facebook. So if you want accurate tracking, you do need to set up UTMs. It's free to do it. Now, we've made a complete video about UTM parameters, so I'll leave that again in the link to the cheat sheet, because that's a whole different topic that can take up a bit of time. But you don't have to use UTM. You can just go no UTMs, but it means that when you try and track the data later, it might not be completely accurate. So just bear that in mind before you launch your campaign. Now, once you've done this, you want to duplicate this where it says video offer. You're going to click duplicate, and you're going to change it to 2 copies, and then click duplicate. Now, you should see 3 ads now, 2 of them saying copy and the 1 which is the original. Now, you're going to want to change this to image offer 1, and then you're going to change the next one to carousel offer 1. So you can see I've already done it here. So this one's called carousel offer 1. So what we've done here is we've added a carousel. So a carousel is an image slideshow. Now, this works extremely well for fashion related products or products that are wearable that don't need explaining. So if your product is a non-explaining product, meaning that it doesn't need to be explained because it's a jewelry product or a wearable product, you want to run a carousel. Now, if your product needs explaining because it's quite a technical product, it does something, it's a problem solver, then I would recommend that you stay away from image ads and you do 3 videos. So instead of doing carousel and image, you're gonna do 3 videos, and each video is gonna be a different video. So you're gonna go carousel offer, you're gonna scroll down to where it says manual upload, you're gonna select carousel. Now you're gonna scroll down, and it's gonna say add at least 2 cards. So you wanna click add image card, and then you can add an image. So I've already uploaded my images, and the best thing for carousels are honestly congruent images. So these images here are the same, so they're from the same model and the same person. If you use image carousels and they are totally different people or different scenes or scenarios, it's not going to work. They have to look like it's from the same place. Now you want to add 3 cards, so you want to add 3 different images. So you can see I've added one there, I've added another one here, and I've added another one here. Now again, the headline, the description, the URL is all going to be the same. The only change you're making is literally the image for the carousel. Then if you scroll down, the primary text is going to be the same as the one that you use for the video. Now where it says carousel optimization, I only have automatically show the best performing card. The other 2 I actually turn off. Now the call to action is always going to remain shop now, and it's going to be the same URL that you're using on your other ad. Now what I like to do with carousels is always preview how they look because it's important. So I'm going to click expand. I always look at the desktop version as it's bigger, and you can see here this is what my carousel is going to look like. Remember, it's got to look like, when I look at it, it's a natural carousel. It's from the same people. So you can see here this looks really nice, and you only want to use high quality images. If your images aren't high quality, they're not going to work. Now once you've done that, you're then going to go to your image offer. Then all you're going to do is click single image or video. Now when it comes to single image ads, I like to go for a very harsh, very strong looking image that's going to captivate people's attention. So I've gone for a very sharp model shot of a sharp image of the model. Now you're probably thinking, why is it sharp? Because obviously if you're looking at the image, it's a very sharp looking image in terms of the way the model's looking, the angle of the model, how it's being worn, the eye contact, all of that stuff is classed as sharpness. So that's what I'm going to want to go for. Remember, you have one image to try and get somebody's attention, so you're going to have to use the best image you've got. Now this is the last time I'm going to remind you guys, if you're selling a problem solving product that needs an explanation, you're not doing carousel, you're not doing image, you're doing 3 videos with the same offer, and then you're done. Now, once you've done your 3 creatives, you're going to want to go back to the ad set level, click duplicate, and you're going to want to duplicate this 4 times. So you can see I can change the number of copies to 4, and then I'm going to hit duplicate. Now, once you've done that, you're going to see on the left-hand side, all of this has now been added to your campaign structure. Now, don't get worried. You've done all the hard work. You're only making incremental changes now for the rest of the setup. So the changes that you're going to do are to the ad set level. So these blue ones here with the 4 boxes are the only things that you're changing. And all you're changing is when you click on it, you're going to see the ones that says copy at the end. They're the ones you're changing. You're going to scroll all the way down to where it says audience advantage. Then you're going to click audience suggestion. So this is what you're going to do for the first one. You're actually going to give Facebook's algorithm a suggestion. Now I'm selling a jewelry product, so I'm obviously going to want to do jewelry related interest. So you can see here, I've added jewelry and apparel to this ad set. So that way I'm giving Facebook a little bit of an idea of who I'm looking for. Now, something that I forgot to mention that I should have mentioned before is you want to change the age to 21 to 65. That way you're not going to get teenagers that can't buy your product looking at your product. Now, once you made that change, you're going to want to scroll up and add that to your ad set name so you know what you've done. So you're going to call it broad interest, audience plus jewelry. That way you know you're still doing audience plus. Now for the next ad set, I'm going to want to scroll all the way down, and this time I'm actually going to want to turn this completely off. Now you might be thinking, how do I turn this completely off? You can see here where it says switch to original audience option. If you click this, click use original audience, you can now see it's giving you the old way of doing it. So if you scroll all the way down now, you're going to see where it says add demographics or behaviors. Now this is where you're also going to want to add things that are related to your product. So now I might want to type in bracelet, necklace, and those are the type of interests that people are also interested in, that are also interested in my product. It's honestly common sense. If you're selling, let's say, sportswear, you're going to want to target maybe sports teams, you're going to want to target sports magazines, you're going to want to target sports brands that are famous. It's just common sense, guys. Now once you've done that, you want to scroll back up and change the name. Now of course, if you've turned advantage off, then you're going to want to mention that you've done that. Now the next one that you might want to do, you might want to keep advantage turned on again, but just give it a suggestion. Then on the last one, you might want to turn advantage off again and give it a hard interest. That way you're testing, is Facebook's algorithm good, or is it better if I give Facebook the interest themselves? That way you're seeing which one's better for your campaign. Now once you've done all that, guys, you're going to want to hit click publish in the bottom right. Now if you go back to the campaign level, you should see your campaign right here. You can see test and campaign product name, broad top 6. You you can see the original campaign that you just made. Now, if you've got a large budget, then I'd recommend that you do the next step. Now, if you don't have a large budget, I'd recommend that you watch the next step so you can learn from it, but just don't do it. So what we're going to do if you have a larger budget is test different countries out in a separate campaign. So we've done the top 6 in this one. So we're going to want to click on the highlight button here, click duplicate. Then all you're going to do in the duplicated one is change the campaign name from top 6 to EU, meaning we're going to target European countries. And then in the ad set level, we're going to want to scroll down to all the ad sets that we've made, but we're going to change the country. So you can see here now I'm doing Switzerland, Germany, Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, and I'm going to give you a list of all the best countries in the cheat sheet. Now you might be thinking, why are we trying European countries in an additional campaign? Again, if you've got a larger budget, it makes sense because some European countries actually for some products outperform the top 6. So it's worth it if you've got the extra budget to try it, because if it actually performs better, then that's good news because it means you're going to get cheaper results and you're going to be able to scale in the European countries. The top 6 are the most expensive to advertise to. So if you can find winners in Europe, then long term, you're going to be more profitable. So all you're doing in this campaign, guys, is literally going into each ad set level and changing the countries to those European countries that I mentioned here and in the cheat sheet. Now, once you've done that, you're going to click publish. And if you're following the extra budget strategy, but you're doing the extra campaign, you should now see 2 campaigns, the testing broad top 6, testing broad EU. Now, if you're only doing one campaign, which is the top 6, you're going to be spending $50 a day if your product's under $50. And if it's over, you're going to be doing 100 a day. And the most you'll ever get up to on the strategy is $250 a day. So remember, normally most of you guys that are watching this are going to be at $50 a day. Now, once you've published your campaign, guys, you're going to see that it's in delivery or it's under review. Then once the midnight comes the next day, they should start running, and you're going to let them run for 1 day before we even critique them. And then I'm going to give you guys in the next few moments the critiquing steps like the killing and scaling methods. So guys, now our campaigns are running. We're going to give it 24 hours before we look at anything. And now the first thing that we're going to look for is the CPC. Now, if your cost per click is greater than $1.50, then turn off the ad set and replace it with a new one. Now, it's so important that this metric here and this rule is applied for drop shippers and not e-com brands. So you can see here I mentioned what to do if you're an e-commerce brand in the cheat sheet. Now, I'm not going to read it here because I don't want to waste too much time, but this is what to do if you're an e-com brand. This is why we apply this 24-hour rule to take out any ad sets that exceed a CPC of $1.50 after the first 24 hours. So what you want to do is you want to go back to your ads manager, go to the campaign section, click on your testing campaign or testing campaigns if you have 2, then click ad set. Then in the ad sets, you're now going to see your ad sets and the metrics. Now, you need to make sure you got the right column set up. So you want to go to columns here in the top right, and then you want to click customize columns. Now, I'm not going to go over which columns you need now. I'm going to leave it in the cheat sheet so you can add them yourself. They are so easy to do. Now, once you've added those columns, you want to see CPC, which is right here, and you want to make sure that your ad sets have a CPC under $1.50. Now, if your ad account is like mine and it's in British pounds or in euro, just turn it into euro or pound. So if it's over £1.50, I would turn it off. Now, all of my ad sets are under $1.50, so I can keep them on for the next 72 hours. Remember, we're leaving them running for 3 days, but the first hurdle is 24 hours, and that's always the CPC rule of being under $1.50. Now, these rules that I'm telling you apply to every ad set that you run, regardless of it's in a scaling campaign, it's in a testing campaign. This rule has to be applied all the time so you don't overspend on bad things. Now, if your ad set was over $1.50, what you'd simply do is turn it off, go to the ad set that has the cheapest CPC. So you can see here, I'm looking for the cheapest CPC, and the cheapest CPC is this one right here. So I would click it, I would click duplicate, and then I would add a different interest, or I wouldn't add any interest at all if I'm doing non-interest, or if I am doing non-interest, then I might add an interest here. So after 3 days, it's time to come back and check the results again. In the next part of the video, we're going to mention some metrics that will be used to check the ad performance. If you do not see any of the metrics in your Facebook Ads Manager, like I said previously, add them in the columns. Now, the first thing that you want to check for after 3 days, which is 72 hours, is if you got a sale. That's literally it. Did you get a sale on your ad set or did you not? Now, if no ad set got a sale after 3 days, it's time to turn it off and replace it with a new one. Then once once you've turned off the bad ad sets and duplicated them and changed them, you can publish it again. That's all you need to do. Check your purchase column and replace any ad sets that have no purchase after 3 days of running them. Now, in the columns that I mentioned in the cheat sheet, you're going to see one that says conversions or complete payment. They're the ones that you want to look for. Now, you want to repeat this process until you reach a loss of $300 up to $500. Note that this is a loss, not an amount spent, as your ads may be running, which you might get sales. So let's say you've spent $500, but you've had 3 sales and you've made $100 in sales. That means you've only made $400 in spend. So till you get at a loss of 500, then you make the decision to kill the product or rerun it again with new creatives, or try the offer to be aggressive. Now, after your first 3-day check, you should at least have an ad set that ran until day 5. If it has a sale, and on day 5, you should check the ROAS. If the ROAS is above break-even ROAS, then congratulations, you have a potential winning audience. If you have an ad set that passes your 5-day check, it's a good idea to try and scale it. Now remember, not every ad set that passes the 5-day check will be scalable, but finding your first scalable one is how you transition from testing to scaling your product. The scaling phase is when you maximize your profit. Now, for those that might be getting confused, remember, you're running the ads till day 5 unless it's got a CPC over $1.50. Now, if it gets to day 3, you need to make sure that it's got a sale. Now, even if it's not profitable on day 3, you still let it run. Now, on day 5, you now want to see if it's profitable. Now, if one ad set is profitable, you can then enter on day 5 a scaling phase. Now, if it isn't, you need to go back to what I was saying previously and retest. So this is how you scale a winning ad set. So it's an ad set that on day 5 is profitable and it's making money because it's above your break even. So what you'd do is you'd go into your original campaign by going to campaigns, clicking on your original, and let's say hypothetically this one here is got a break even over and it's on day 5. We're then going to click the duplicate button right here. Then we're going to click new campaign. Then we're going to change the number of copies to 3, and we're going to change the campaign name to horizontal scaling campaign. So in this campaign, everything remains the same. You can see here we've got horizontal scaling campaign. Now, if it's a bit messy on the left-hand side, remember that the folder is your campaign name. So you can see here's another folder, but this is the testing campaign. So we've got to ignore anything below this. So anything above this is the new campaign. Now, what we're doing, guys, is we're scaling horizontally. Now, scaling horizontally means that you're duplicating what's winning. You're not increasing the budget, you're just increasing the amount of ad sets. Now, why are we increasing the amount of ad sets? Because it comes to something called the ad set pocket theory. The ad set pocket theory means that when you launch an ad set, and let's say it's a winning ad set, your ad set's only going to hit a certain amount of people within that audience. So you can see here on the right hand side, it's saying that the audience size is 125 million. Now, not one ad set is going to hit 125 million people. So that's why we've got to scale horizontally, because more ad sets are going to attack more people in this audience. Now, once you've duplicated your winning ad set 3 times in this new horizontal campaign, you can click publish. Now, remember, if you've got 3 winning ad sets, you'll duplicate those 3 winning ad sets 3 times into this horizontal campaign. Now, if for some reason it doesn't scale effectively and it doesn't work, we're now going to try scaling it vertically. So we're going to go back to the original campaign again, click on the ad set that we want to duplicate, click duplicate, then create a new campaign, and we're going to want to call this one vertical scaling campaign with the product name. And we're going to want to copy the number of copies once, only duplicating it once, and I'll explain why in a minute. So you can see here, I've got my vertical scaling campaign here. The only thing we're changing in this ad set is we're going to scroll down to where it says budget, and we're going to increase it by $20. So I like to increase it by $20 every successful period. So let's say, for example, I publish this now, and after 5 days, it's profitable again. That means it's a period. So after that 5 days, I'm then going to increase it to $60. Now, after day 5, if it's profitable, I'm going to edit the actual ad set and now increase it from 30 to, guess what, $50. I'm incrementally changing it by $20 every single time after the period of it being successful. Now, if after the next 5 days it doesn't get profitable, then I'm going to drop it by 10. Now, this is called scaling vertically. That basically means you're scaling with budget, not by duplication. So your spending is actually going to focus on more people instead of the ad pocket. So this is the type of scaling. Now, the reason why we have to try both methods is because one will work better on your ad account. Now, if you're comfortable enough and confident enough, you can make changes. Now, the change that I would only make if you're comfortable enough is by looking at the data. Now, how you'd look at the data is you'd go back to your campaign and you'd go to the ad level. And what you would do is you'd look at the metrics and say, okay, based on these metrics, this creative is the winning creative. So if you've been testing 3 different videos or carousel image or video, then the one that's working the best is the only ad that you use in the scaling campaign. Now, the next thing that you have to understand is when you're in these 5-day periods, again, if you're profitable, you're just increasing the load by 30 to 50%. So if you're scaling horizontally and after the 5-day period, you're making more money on those duplicates, you're then going to duplicate the duplicates. Now, whilst you're doing all of this, guys, you should try and launch new creatives in a testing creative campaign or in the original campaign. So in the original campaign, you're now introducing new ad sets that are running with new creatives. Now, you should be rolling new creatives at least once a week. 1 new creative a week is the minimum. I like to do 10 new creatives a week. Now, that's very aggressive, but 1 is the minimum. So guys, the next scaling method or the next advanced strategy is lookalike audiences. Now, lookalike audiences had a bad moment for the last few months, year, but they've started to do really well again. Now, what I like to do with lookalike audiences is wait. Now, lookalike audiences only work if you've got enough data. So if you're getting to this strategy too early on, it's not going to work. So I like to say that as long as you've spent at least $2,000 or you've been running the product for around about 3 to 4 weeks, then it's the right time to use this strategy. Now, again, only if you're either breaking even or you're profitable. So how you get into this strategy is you're going to want to open up a new ads manager on a new tab. You're going to want to come here in the top left, click all tools, and you're going to want to go to where it says audiences. Then you want to click where it says create a custom audience. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a few of these because it's very similar to do all of these. Now, if you get stuck on one of them, you can literally go on Facebook's blog and figure it out. But I'm going to show you guys how to do, let's say, video views and content views or Instagram. So if we're going to want to do video views, we're going to want to go video, click next, go to where it says choose a type of content, and then you're going to want to do these ones. This one, this one, this one, this one, and then this one. And then for each one of these, you have to choose a video. So you obviously want to choose the videos that have got the most views. Then once you've selected all the videos with the views, you're going to then click confirm. Then where it says retention, we're going to do 90 days. Then audience name is going to be video views all, and then 90 days. And then once you've done that, you're going to click create audience. Now, when you create an audience, it has to populate, which means Facebook has to populate it, which can take around about 1 to 2 days. Now, once you come back here, it will tell you if it's populated or not. If it hasn't populated, do not use it because it will not work properly. Now, the next one you're going to want to do is click create audience again. Then this time you're going to go Instagram account. You're going to click next. Then where it says everyone who engaged with professional account, you're going to want to go all the way down to the one that says account center, people who engage with any post or ad. Then you're going to change this to 90 days again. Then you want to call this one Instagram engagement, and then you want to hit create audience. Now, if you go back to create custom audience, it's the same for Facebook. Now, to do the rest, guys, you need to go back to create audiences, and you can select the rest through one of these drop down menus. You can either figure it out by just clicking on them and clicking the drop downs, or you can just Google how to do the rest. I don't want to cover every single one of these in this video because it would honestly take too long. Now, once you've created your audiences and they've populated, you then want to go to where it says lookalike audience and click create a lookalike audience. Now, for this one, you're going to want to go to where it says select lookalike audience, and then you're going to want to go to where it says other sources, and it should show on here. Now, if it doesn't show here on other sources, try value-based sources and it might show on here. Now, it depends because sometimes it glitches out and shows it on one or the other, but you should see your custom audience on one of these. Then once you've done this, it's going to say select audience location. Now, you want to select the locations that you've been using when you've been targeting on Facebook. So you've been doing top 6, then select the top 6. Now, sometimes some ad accounts won't let you choose the audience location. So if it gives you the option not to choose, then you don't need to worry. Then once you've done that, it's going to say select audience size. Then it's going to say number of lookalike audiences. You're going to do 1, but you're going to change the percentage to 5. That way, the lookalike audience that you're creating isn't directly the exact same as somebody that's looked at your ads before. They're going to be in the middle. That way, it's an equilibrium of the kind of people that you want to then look at. Now, lookalike audience is basically you trying to tell Facebook, here are people that have visited certain things on my company, website, videos. I want you to try and find people that are similar to them based on this data. So by you choosing 5, it's a medium look at other people. Then once you've done that, you're going to click create audience, and you need to do that for all the ones, your engagement, your video views, all the 6 that I put in the cheat sheet. Now, once you've made your custom audiences and your lookalikes, which should be 6 different lookalikes, and it should be the same ones in that cheat sheet. Again, if you have any issues, there's loads of other videos on YouTube that will help you do that section, or you can read Facebook's forum or blogs. Now, once you've done that, guys, you're going to want to hit create. You're going to create a brand new campaign. You're going to go sales again. You're going to click continue. Then you're going to want to choose manual setup again and click continue. Now, this time you're going to change the campaign name to LAA, which stands for lookalike audiences, and then the product name. So you can see here, my campaign is called LLA scaling product name. Now, what you want to do is you want to create an ad set, and in this ad set, you're going to call it the lookalike name. So this one's going to be called Instagram engagement 60 days. So I'm going to scroll all the way down. I'm going to keep going all the way down. Now, the budget is going to remain at the testing budget. So I always tested on $10. So I'm going to keep it at 10. The start and schedule date is midnight the next day. That all stays the same. Then when we scroll down, we're going to be going back to normal audiences. So you don't want to use Advantage Plus. You need to turn Advantage Plus off for this to work. So you're going to want to scroll all the way down, and you're going to see something called custom audiences. You're going to click this, and then you're going to see your lookalike audience here if you've created it properly. Now, this ad set is called Instagram engagement, so this one's going to be the Instagram engagement lookalike audience. Now it's going to show you locations. Now, if you created the locations in the lookalike audiences, then you can delete the locations here. Or if it didn't ask you to add locations in the lookalike, you're going to add them here. Now, where it says detailed target, and you don't need to worry about this because it's all done through your custom audience, then you can move on to your creative. Now, your creative is going to be the winning creative. So whichever is the best performing creative based on CTR and sales, you're going to use that for your lookalikes. So you can see one ad set, one creative, which is the winner. Now, you're going to want to duplicate this ad set 5 times. So in total, you have 6 ad sets. Now, why have you got 6 ad sets? Because your other ad sets are going to be the next lookalike audience name, which is Facebook engagement 60 days. Then the next one's going to be content views 90 days. And the next one's going to be add to cart 90 days. And remember to change this in the custom audience section. So this campaign is literally designed for that theory. Now, once you've filled all this in correctly, you can then click publish. Then once you've done that, guys, you've got yourself a lookalike campaign that is now running, and it should generate you some really good sales, and they should be very profitable because they are based on people that are similar to your current customers. Now, remember, each campaign you run is the same rules: 24-hour rule, 3-day rule, and 5-day rule. Now, the good news, guys, is I've got one last scaling method for you that I use to take my dropshipping stores and my e-commerce brands to 7 figures. Now, this is a CBO scaling campaign. So what you want to do is you want to go back to where it says create. You want to then go back to sales again, click continue, go to manual setup, click continue. Now, this is where things get interesting because we're going to change the name to CBO scaling and then the product name, but we're actually going to turn on this section here, Advantage Campaign Budget Plus. So we're going to click this, and now you can see it says daily budget. Then you can see campaign bid strategy, highest volume, keep it as it is. And then you can see here the budget. Now, CBOs only work well if you have 3 ad sets in them. Now, how CBOs work is instead of you spending the budget on the ad set level, the campaign spends on which ad set they think is performing the best. Now, CBOs, again, only work well if you've got 3 ad sets in them. Now, you can either duplicate the winning ad set. If you only have 1 winning ad set, you duplicate that 3 times into this CBO. Or what I prefer to do is have 3 winning ad sets, which means there's 3 different audiences that are winning, and I like to put them in here. So let's say jewelry's a winning audience, let's say bracelets are a winning audience, and let's say, for example, fashion is a winning audience. So those 3 ad sets would go into here. So once I've changed the budget, I'm going to change it to $100. So you always start at $100 no matter what, and you work your way up later, which I'll explain. So once you've changed the budget to $100, you're then going to go to the ad set level, and the quickest way to do this is to actually delete the ad set, then close the campaign down like this. And if you go to campaign, you're going to see the new one right here. Then the best thing to do is to go to your testing campaign, open it up, click on the winning one. So let's say this is a winning ad set, this is the winning ad set, this is the winning ad set. Then I'm going to click duplicate up here, and then it's going to say existing campaign. I'm going to select that. Then I'm going to choose the CBO campaign. You can see here CBO scaling is coming up, then number of copies 1, and then that way you've got those ad sets with the winning ad already in the campaign. And then once it's in the campaign, you can then just click publish. Now, once your new CBO is running, you're then going to have to do again the 24-hour rule. But then on the 5th day, if you're then seeing success, being profitable, what you do is you change the CBO budget. Now, I like to change the CBO budget between $50 to $100. Now, this depends on how profitable you are. Now, let's say your break-even ROAS in my instance is 1.2, and my ROAS after 5 days is on 2.3. That's very good. I might want to increase it by $50 on day 5. Now, let's say another 5 days has gone, and now my ROAS in the campaign's at 4. I then might want to increase it by, guess what, 100, which is being more aggressive. Now, if after another 5 days it drops, I might want to then lower it by 50. So I'm lowering it by 50 to 25, depending on how bad it drops. Now, you keep that going till as high as you can get a CBO. Sometimes I've took CBOs to 10K a day. Sometimes I've took them to 5K a day. It just depends how far you can take them whilst they remain profitable. But that is my latest Facebook ads mastery, guys. Let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. It's been a long video. I hope you got a lot of value from it. Don't forget how important that cheat sheet is. It's going to go over so much that I've already talked about, but in even more detail, and it might help you make more sense of it. So make sure you get access to that once we hit 2,000 likes. If you've appreciated the video, just smash that like button, get your friends to watch your video and smash the like button. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next video.